My Fairy by Lewis Carroll, 1832 to 1898. I have a fairy by my side which says I must not sleep. When once in pain I loudly cried, it said, you must not weep. If full of mirth I smile and grin, it says, you must not laugh. When once I wished to drink some gin, it said, you must not quaff. When once a meal I wished to taste, it said, you must not bite. When to the wars I went in haste, it said, you must not fight. What may I do? At length I cried, tired of the painful task. The fairy quietly replied and said, you must not ask. And the moral, you mustn't. Okay, this is a little poem by Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll, or Charles Ludwig Dodson, he was born in Cheshire, and he was brought up there for some time. Then he went to rugby school, and then he went to Christchurch College, Oxford. He then became a professor of mathematics at Christchurch, Oxford, and he spent most of his life there. So he's most famous for writing Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass, which came out many years later. And he's also a mathematician, and he's written books on logic as well. Okay, this is one of his children's poems. Yeah, he's talking about a fairy that is always with him. And he says he has this fairy by his side which says, you can't go to sleep. And once when I was in pain, I cried, ah! And the fairy said, you mustn't cry. If full of mirth, I smile and grin. So if I think something's really funny and I'm smiling, I'm grinning, it said, you mustn't laugh. When once I wished to drink some gin, so at one point I wanted to drink some gin, it said, you must not quaff. To quaff is to drink, yeah? Particularly to drink all of something. When once a meal I wished to taste, it said, you must not bite. So then I wanted to eat a meal, and it said, you can't bite it, you mustn't bite it. When to the wars I went in haste, it said, you must not fight. So then I wanted to go to the war, so I went to the war. And the fairy said, you mustn't fight, fighting's not reasonable. What may I do? At length I cried. So, well, what can I do? All you do is say, I can't do this. You can't do this. Tired of the painful task. Tired of following everything the fairy said. The fairy quietly replied and said, you must not ask. Don't ask. You're not allowed to ask. And, well, this is, I think, mimicking the way children were brought up in those days, and I think this is to amuse his brothers and sisters. And the moral to the poem is you mustn't. So anything you want to do, you mustn't do. Everything is prohibited. No matter what you want to do, you mustn't do it. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. My Fairy by Lewis Carroll.